Happy Monday, guys. Welcome back to Rise and Grind. This is sponsored by Gatorade. Totally kidding, it's not. Totally not sponsored by Gatorade, but Gatorade, you should sponsor it. Welcome back, guys. I hope you guys had a great weekend and are ready to get after it this week. Before we dive in, ask Megan what she did, and she says she had a good weekend. And just short and to the point about it, we're gonna talk about one thing first, okay? And too many people, like, legitimately, like, I keep thinking about that Friday Beers account, like that everybody, like so many people on our team do it. So many people love this Friday Beers thing. And it's like, oh my God, the weekend's here. I get it. But also at the same time, you have to set yourself up to want to be ready to jump into the week ahead and to enjoy what you're doing. Like, it's tough, but you got to get used to it, right? So I'm saying we get motivation for Fridays and the weekends, right? We need some motivation for Mondays before Mondays get here then.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So I'm saying, like, before Mondays hit, start to do things that motivate you or start to watch things that motivate you just so you get amped up a little bit, right? Most people don't, so, but, you know, again, it just helps a little bit. But anyway, how was your weekend?
It was good. It was Mother's Day this past weekend, so it's nice spending time with the moms, and we did game night, so that was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
It was great. It was great. Good Mother's Day. Jack's first one as a mama of 3.
Yay.
Shout out to her. And obviously all the mamas out there that we didn't say it to. But yeah, good weekend, good stuff going on. Obviously restaurants are packed at that. You know, restaurants are all packed. You can't get in anywhere.
It's hard to make a reservation.
You can't get in anywhere. It's like, you
always have to consider not going out because it's just crazy.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, sometimes you got to make mama a burger or grilled cheese.
Oh, yeah.
At home.
Yep.
At home. You know what I'm
I
saying?
almost prefer home cooking though over some restaurants.
At this point right now,
especially a steak. Like, I can make better steak at home than when I go out, honestly.
Listen, I'm just gonna say one thing. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I love cooking home. I want to say me and Jacqueline, but I love eating home.
When I say me, I meant Chris too.
Yeah. I love eating home. Eating home. But I do love me some La Mondiners. I gotta say that.
Oh, I love
I'm gonna just come out and say
too.
it.
That is you're right.
Little espresso martini. How you doing?
Oh my gosh, the burrata appetizer.
Oh my gosh.
To die for.
To die for.
Yeah.
Shout out to La Mondina Carmine. How you doing, my Carmine guy? So all right, we got some topics. Let's dive on in, Megs. You hit it first.
All right. So right before we got started, we were talking about the new movie that came out on Netflix, which is Unfrosted, and it's written by Jerry Seinfeld. And it's the story of Pop-Tarts, which I didn't know this. I found it so amusing. So obviously, there are a few really big companies. Kellogg is one of them. And back then, the way that you ate your cereal was out of a bowl, right? It was never really on the go. So during the time, they were all in competition as it is. But now they're in competition to revolutionize breakfast, right? So they're trying to create this pastry on the go. And they named it initially Trap Pop.
What?
Trap Pop.
Trapped
Pop.
Which
is so bad.
Okay.
Right?
Trapped Pop. I could never see that being anyway.
I know. And they're like, this is amazing, this, that, the other. And it stood for Toaster Ready Anytime Treat, put on plate. Really long, right? And again, like Trap Pop, like it sounds like Trap Pop. Like it doesn't sound like something you would see on the shelves.
Right.
They essentially got it ready to market. They go to release it on air for the first time, and there was a mix-up in a teleprompter. The way that they were sharing the details, it was read backwards as Pop-Tart. And then it was because it was released on air to millions who were listening and watching, it now became Pop-Tart over Trap Pop. And that's how they got their name. They spent months and months and months trying to figure out what's the perfect name for this thing. And just by accident, someone released it as Pop-Tart instead of Trap Pop, and they had to go back and change the boxes. And now, obviously, we know what Pop-Tart is today.
See, if I was reading off a teleprompter, I would have said it too. I'd be like, Pop-Tart?
Like, Trap Pop. This is not what it's going to be called. What I found so interesting,
that's crazy,
though, is
actually.
just like, and the movie itself is really interesting. You see how competitive it is between these companies. Obviously, parts of it aren't real.
Yeah. So it's an actual movie or it's a documentary?
It's a movie.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's a comedy. It's hilarious.
Is he in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Highly recommend it. I think it was so good. But so Kellogg's came out and they're like, hey, this is great, but you didn't use permission to use some of the things that were mentioned in the movie. And they're going back and forth, but while they're pointing fingers saying you don't have permission to use this, they're also capitalizing on it. So they released a Trap Pop, the original Trap Pop, and it's for sale. You can actually purchase it. It's their unfrosted raspberry trap top.
Really?
Limited edition. And yeah, go and check it out. I just found the whole thing so fascinating. I think it's really cool that they meant to release a product with one name, and by mistake it became something else, which is now known as a household item, honestly.
Yeah, the other name sounds crazy.
Trap Pop.
Sounds like Bob. But what is your favorite Pop-Tart?
Oh my gosh, this is really hard. I like is it the fudge one? With all the sprinkles on top and the fudge on the inside. You know what
color is the outside though? Because there's a chocolate one with a white.
It's chocolate with the white.
That's your fave?
Yeah. Or the s'mores.
S'mores fucks heavily.
Sometimes I like the blueberry too. I'm just gonna start naming all the flavors.
You like literally all of them. You literally like all of them.
I don't really love the raspberry one.
No. My top two, which are the most amazing of all time, are the cinnamon one, which is just a standard go-to. I mean, they sell them everywhere.
Yep.
The cinnamon one is my first one. The second one is going to be the cookie one. Oh.
What's the cookie?
The cookie one has like
an unfrosted one too, right?
Yeah, it's unfrosted, but it has chocolate chips all on the front of it. A little chocolate swirl on the inside is all chocolate, and it's delicious.
Yum. Do you heat them up?
I've never have, no.
Me neither.
No.
I've always eaten them cold.
Toaster strudels, though.
I've never had those. A toaster strudel.
I've only had them like once or twice, like in my childhood, but not bad, not bad. Who could have thought we're sitting here talking about Pop-Tarts?
I know.
This many years later, it's like I haven't had one since like maybe middle school.
Well, that's your own fault.
Yeah, but it's like because at the end of the day, it's funny. Somebody asked Jerry Seinfeld, they go, "Do you eat Pop-Tarts?" He goes, "No." They're like, "Why'd you do this?" They thought it was interesting.
It is interesting. It was a huge mistake that ended up being like such a well-known brand.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch this. One thing. This is gonna send some shockwaves here. It's gonna send some shockwaves, but we have to do it. We have to do it, and this is about branding, people. So don't get offended. Don't go berserk. Whatever. Okay. This is a conversation on Taylor ham or pork roll.
Pork roll.
Yeah, you grew up down the shore. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, down here at least. You're from Alabama. So you grew up down the shore, essentially. I grew up in North Jersey.
So you say Taylor ham.
My parents always said that in the morning. Do you want a Taylor ham sandwich? Do you want Taylor ham? So they always, anyway, whatever. But I had a really good conversation the other day with somebody because we were debating it. Me and my buddy, obviously, you know Brian.
Yeah.
We're debating it always. It's always like an ongoing debate every summer. And he's like, "Oh, you idiots! It's pork roll." And always going back at us, right? So then we started to think about it, right? Because technically, now this is actually genius branding by Taylor Ham, which is the name of the brand, right? Where people call it what the actual product is, right? So pork roll is technically the product, right? Taylor Ham is technically the brand, right? So people are both not wrong,
right?
Technically.
So
in reality, they're calling it by the product, right? So it'd be so where this got interesting, right? And again, going from great branding, right? So I don't know how. Maybe this was a branding thing made up by Taylor Ham.
Oh shoot!
I don't know. Meg just broke her mic. Meg just broke the mic. But the genius part is this has been a debate for however long. I don't even know how long this has been a debate for. But nonetheless, people are talking about it, and people typically buy, or at least in the Northeast area, the Taylor Ham brand, right? Now, the equivalency, because obviously you call it pork roll, right?
Yeah.
The equivalency is if you got a cut on your knee, right? What would you put on it?
A Band-Aid. I was just going to go there.
Correct.
I was going to say, because Band-Aid is also a brand.
It's a brand, right? It's called Taylor Ham. So you're essentially calling it Band-Aid.
Q-tip is another brand.
Correct.
Yeah.
So essentially, if you call pork roll, then you should be calling Band-Aids adhesive. I forget how you call it.
Adhesive
bandage. Right. Adhesive bandage. Technically, that's what it's technically. It's a product.
Right.
But people call it Band-Aid, which is everybody, right? Is the same thing as calling pork roll Taylor Ham, because it's the product, it's the brand. So the reason why I'm saying this is when you think about the brand aspect of that, right? So for how many years? I remember the first time I actually heard that, and I was like in high school, and somebody's like, "Do you know Band-Aid's actually not a Band-Aid, it's just the name of the brand?" I'm like, "What?" It broke my brain. I thought Band-Aid was the I thought it was a technical term. But when you think about how much these two companies have just completely, again, they've been around forever. But when you think about how, I'm pretty sure Johnson & Johnson owns Band-Aid. That name, I'm not sure, but but they developed that forever ago. But they completely cornered the market. So now when you think about that one thing, you think about them. That is amazing branding. When you think about Taylor ham or pork roll, no matter what, you're still debating. If you just call it pork roll, you still know that people call it Taylor ham because of the brand. So genius branding. Now when you're thinking about how you brand yourself, it's the same type of concept that you want to get out there. When people are thinking about your industry, it's important you put that type of focus at mind so that you can, obviously, everyone wants to dominate and take over a market like these two did. They took over it completely, obviously. It's hard to do that, especially these days. Not impossible. But when you think about that type of stuff, that's kind of how that's people, like, again, I heard this saying the other day where, having a brand is what people say about you and your company when you're not in the room, right? And like, that's a thing that goes on, right? So ultimately, when you're building your brand, think about it as a person, right? Whether it's you're a solopreneur or if you have a team or a company, what do people see that company as? What's the personality traits of that company? What's the character? What's the fun side? What's the serious side? Is there a strong tonality? Is there a soft tonality? You got to figure out those things when you're building your brand, and most people don't do that. Taylor ham. What do you call it, Bob? Taylor ham.
Oh, get out of here.
All right, adhesive bandage. All right, what you got next for us?
All right, next up we have...
Wait, tell us what you call it. Tell us what you call it when you're watching this. What do you call it? You calling it Taylor ham? You calling it pork roll? And also, one thing real quick. You like how I interrupted Megan right there? That was pretty good, huh? But one thing, though, that is crazy that I never realized. Do you know you can't get Taylor ham or pork roll anywhere outside of pretty much where we are?
I do. One of our clients had a conference down in Florida, and they had to ship boxes of pork roll down because they wanted to have pork roll, egg, and cheeses.
How insane is that?
That is insane.
The first time I ever heard that, literally, I was sitting here, and no joke, I went on a trip to Rhode Island. I was with my buddy, literally in high school, and we're at the diner. And this was almost like, this is like a perfect Seinfeld skit. I'm at the diner with my buddy and his parents because his sister played tennis down there. And long story short, I'm sitting there and they're all ordering breakfast. And then I go, I'll have a Taylor ham sandwich. The lady's like, excuse me? And I'm like, what? Taylor ham sandwich. She goes, what's Taylor ham? I go, okay, pork roll. And she goes, pork roll? And then,
we don't have pork roll.
Then Sue, my buddy Pete's mom, was like, John, they don't have that here. She goes, I can cook ham and put it on a sandwich for you. And I was like,
not the same.
What? I'm like, you guys don't have this here?
That's just not the same.
It's the opposite of this.
It is the opposite.
How could you not? But why? Well, I want to know why. Why don't you have it, Florida? Why don't you have it, Rhode Island? Why don't they have it?
They're gonna be like,
because it's probably ultra processed.
Yeah.
It's because it's ultra processed, John.
You.
It's terrible for you. That's why Megan has it every day.
Oh no, not really.
you have them though. I feel like you never eat anything besides meatball sandwiches.
I actually don't really eat pork roll.
Quick side note, I have to say this real quick. Megan is a random food eater when you're traveling places. We had one of our...
it's one time. I just want to preface this with I've been here for years. We've gone so many places together.
Yeah, always random food though.
And this is the
always
one
random
story
food.
he chooses to remember.
No. Always the random stuff that you're like, did she just order that?
It's either, come on, let's be real. It's French fries, mozzarella sticks.
Yeah.
One time it was a meatball parm.
No. So time out. So wait, what the hell were we going to?
In Boston?
In Halloween Town. Where the hell were we going? Salem.
Yeah.
But Salem for our, what the hell is it called though? I'm blanking here.
Our executive retreat.
So we're going on a retreat. We're going to Salem. We're driving, right? So I don't know, what was it, a 4 or 5 hour drive?
Yeah.
So we're driving there. I'm telling you, this road was dark and dingy, okay? Legitimately crazy. So we pull in this one, we see a pizzeria. Everybody has to use the bathroom. There's 10 of us. And we pull over to use the bathroom and we're like, let's get some food here, whatever, knowing the pizza's gonna suck, probably, because we're in the middle of nowhere and we're definitely way outside of Jersey and New York area. Sorry guys, if you're not from the area. And we sit there and everybody ordered normal things. I got a slice of pizza. Somebody got another slice of pizza. Somebody got, I'm pretty sure, a cheesesteak. All normal things. Now, keep in mind, we're driving for 2-3 hours in the car, okay? It gets hot in there. You're smelling breath. It's all this crazy shit, right? Megan orders a meatball parm.
What is wrong with that?
Who orders a random meatball parm from a place you've never been to?
I feel like that's safer than a cheesesteak.
No way!
Yeah.
Do you agree with that statement? Would you go meatball parm?
I'd go cheesesteak.
Come on, right? She's trying to justify it. But I'm telling you, meatball parm. Literally,
How can
random
you mess it up? Even if it's frozen meatballs, you put it in some sauce, you put it on a sandwich.
Nonetheless, she had a meatball parm, random place, and I don't think you liked it.
It was not that great. No.
Fresh or frozen?
Neither was the pizza though.
Everything was not great.
Yeah.
Everything was not great. We had to take a couple extra stops for Megan, but it was fun. It was fun. You know, we got there, we made it, whatever.
Oh my gosh.
All right, moving along here.
All right. Instagram updates. So they are updating their feed algorithm, and this is really interesting because they're prioritizing original content, which means that any page who's reposting other content, those posts will not be shown on the Explore page, on anything. So what this means is there's a few pages that I could think of personally that I follow, like the Betches account or the Barstool accounts that just repost.
Who is it?
Betches, you know the Betches account?
Oh, Betches, okay.
And you know Barstool, obviously.
Yeah,
you follow Barstool.
Yeah.
They repost everybody
A ton of shit.
Yeah, everybody else's content.
That's literally how they have become famous.
Right.
It's not their own content.
And then there's a few accounts.
Wow.
Actually, not a few. There's a lot of accounts that became famous that way. That content will no longer be served to audiences.
With the masses.
So basically, if you have an account where you're reposting other people's content, you have to come up with an original strategy really quick because over the next few months, your content is not going to be shown to audiences on Instagram. So what that means is your reach could go down, your engagement can go down, and overall your profile views are going to go down.
That's
as
like
well.
devastating for Barstool. And honestly, what I like about it is because obviously a lot of these platforms are monetizing. And so the creators are making a couple bucks here and there. But what's wild though now is it actually gives the original content owner the ability to soar in views rather than all these other companies like Barstool taking a picture of a dad driving a lawnmower into a freaking, a tree and reposting it. And now Barstool gets all that attention, which drives back to the guy. But it's like realistically now, if I post something, it goes viral. Right, technically Barstool or whoever else, all these different content creators who just mix and repeat, like they are not going to be able to do that.
Exactly.
Which is wild.
Yeah, it is. That's really wild. And to your point, there's times where content's reposted and the original creator isn't credited at all. And there's been a few times where I've gone to comments and people are like, "Hey, this is my video," or "Hey, that's my mom's video," or whoever it is.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to protect the original creators, but for the accounts that grew their following by posting other people's content, you got to come up with a different strategy.
Wow.
Stat. Yeah.
Yeah, mom's video. Meg's mom's has a lot. She has a lot of content.
My mom?
Yeah. You said
She's
your mom's
got
video.
OG content.
OG.
Yeah.
I like it. And so switching gears here, one of the things that I think we really need to talk about, and it's like crazy, is I said this on the story recently, but guys, you have to turn on all levels and measures of security on every platform that you use. I'm talking social media platforms, I'm talking banking platforms, I'm talking your computers, your phones, everything. The more security you have, and I know, listen, I'm the guy who never wanted to turn on two-factor because I'm like, it's so annoying. I don't want to have to always text you
annoying.
or wait for this or have to fucking go to my iPad and sign in and open the app, so annoying, right? But at the end of the day, what it came down to, one of my good friends got hacked on Facebook, completely lost his Facebook. We have clients in the past who have that's happened to. Kristen Sachs, it's happened to. So many people have got locked out of their social profiles, and then you're just screwed. I mean, guys, Meta is not coming. They ain't coming for you. When you lose your account or you get hacked, you might as well just say a little RIP, throw a little salt over the shoulder. You're done.
Yeah,
honestly,
Google's
you're done.
that way too. A lot of these big platforms are that way. You're good luck getting support.
Can you take this real quick?
Good luck getting support on the phone with you, or trying to connect with you because it's near impossible. So yeah, you have to have two-factor on. I got hacked a few weeks ago.
Did you really?
Yeah, on Instagram.
On your personal?
Yeah. Yeah. Luckily, I was able to get back in and change my two factors really quickly, but
Yeah, so this is the thing. So back to that bottom line. Wait, I'm sorry. What did you just say? I blanked out. I was listening to Rob over there. I just blanked out. We're live, and I'm blanking out live. Can you believe this? What did you just say, though? Sorry.
I said I was able to get back in and change my 2 factors, but if somebody doesn't know how to do that,
yeah,
like,
well,
what are you
guys,
supposed to do?
it's so important. Again, I'm talking every social profile. I'm talking banking. I know it's annoying. I know it's going to take maybe 30 minutes to do all this for all your things, but it's effing worth it. Just do it. I'm telling you, it is going to help you in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, it looks like that's what that's what we have today. That's all she wrote.
Yeah.
Happy Monday, guys. I hope you guys create an amazing week ahead. I can't believe how fast this year is going already.
I know.
Pretty soon we're gonna be at the
Crazy.
halfway point to this year, and before you know it, we're gonna be at the end of the year.
No,
right?
we're not yet.
Before you know it. So I hope you're accomplishing all your goals so far this year. And guys, again, you cannot replace hard work. So if you're going through some stuff, I heard something today, heard a good word today, and it was like, actually it was Jerry Seinfeld. He was talking about Pop-Tarts. Actually, I was watching an interview of it, funny enough, actually, on TikTok. And he was just saying how he's like, you can't replace the hard work stuff because it's what changes you. Like, it makes you better. It sucks in those moments, but what makes you better is when you're going through those sucky, shitty times because you learn something and you're growing from it.
Very true.
And at the end of the day, like, that's what we need. So anyway, when things are tough, keep going, and happy Monday, guys. Get after it. You want to hit the boom or should I?
Boom? What?
Boom.
Boom.